My name is Ethan Neal, and I'm the Food Systems Manager for Pillsbury United Communities. The title Food Systems Manager is never something I thought I would have. As a seventh-generation Midwestern farmer and laborer, my parents were the first generation on either side of their families to leave their rural lifestyle and go on to college. They chose to put their work and focus on education, so their three sons had the opportunity to go to college, have careers that weren't on the farm or in the factory, and build a life in the city. And now I have one brother who lives with his family in Vienna, Austria. My other brother lives with his partner in Shanghai, China. And then there's me. I was the one in the family who made it the big switch from rural farm life to urban farm life. Not really what my parents had in mind, but shoot, I'm the one on stage now, not my brothers. So, 3 years ago, I gotta get my little clicker going. 3 years ago, at this very conference in Los Angeles, Adair Mosley, who at the time was the Chief Innovation Officer and is now the President and CEO of Pillsbury United Communities, gave a snapshot just like I am today. He spoke about the human-centered design process that we use to create an innovative grocery store in North Minneapolis. This new grocery store would combine a wellness center, a wellness resource center, a community gathering space alongside local access to groceries in what was considered one of the largest food deserts in the country. North Memorial Hospital created a physical presence inside the store. Community health workers are on staff to answer questions about chronic disease, nutrition, medication, and even help with grocery shopping. An innovative new collaboration between healthcare institutions, nonprofits, community members, and foundations who were all focused on the health and well-being of our North Minneapolis residents. With North Market celebrating its second anniversary, I hope to share how we continue to elevate that work on the other side of the food chain. Specifically, how we've been able to utilize urban farming as a revenue stream, educational tool, and a radical solution to integrate healthy food into our food shelves and community cafes. Many of us here today are familiar with the settlement house movement and how homes were strategically placed in the center of neighborhoods so that those who provided social services lived among and built relationships directly with community members. What we are building in urban agriculture follows that same philosophy, and agriculture is a perfect metaphor for how we're thinking of the settlement house movement in the 21st century. Being a proud seventh-generation Iowan, but was lucky enough to grow up in a small town in Minnesota, agriculture was all around us and was a way of life. My family has been farming and laboring in the same handful of counties in Iowa since the 1850s. Detasseling corn, walking beans, or working at John Deere were the summer jobs that most of us filled at one time or another. It wasn't until I went to college that I began to learn more about the food system outside of corn and beans. And it wasn't pretty. I began to feel a bit defeated. I read reports like this one stating that we only have 60 to 80 world harvests left, that agriculture is one of the main causes of greenhouse emissions, deforestation, and wildfires. Yet we have starving people who aren't receiving 40% of the food that's being wasted. Everyone who is working in hunger relief, agriculture, or any other part of the food system has heard the doom and gloom of our future food landscape. I was definitely in that mindset as the food shelf coordinator at our White House Community Center, seeing the food waste, the poverty, and the systems that perpetuate it. I thought the solutions were all above me, that they were out of my control. But nevertheless, we decided to start focusing on our own internal food system. As Gandhi said, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." If we want to begin to see the world change, we have to start changing what we do have control over. And even if it was only going to change our internal food system, we were motivated to at least try. In Pillsbury United's current food ecosystem, we operate 2 food shelves, 2 community meal programs, 6 outdoor small-scale farms, 1 indoor hydroponic farm, and of course, North Market. That means our farmer who harvested that morning, the chef that prepared it, and the community member that lives next door to the farm are all sitting down to have a free farm fresh meal together on a regular basis. an essential part of our philosophy of radical hospitality, in a way to, as I call it, de-bourgeois the idea of farm to table. Thank you, that's the purpose. One of the keystone programs that we have is our free lunch program at the White House in the Phillips neighborhood of South Minneapolis. Our head chef, Jose, with the help of interns and volunteers, manages to create a nutritious home-cooked meal on a daily basis, serving over 100 people a day, Monday through Friday. Our cafe gives us a unique opportunity to highlight our local produce, demonstrate new ways to cook food from our food shelves, and utilizes food from our local grocery stores that would have been wasted due to grocery store practices and regulations, despite its safety and deliciousness. Jose wrangles a hodgepodge of resources, ensuring that everyone who wants it has a warm meal at least once a day. Just downstairs from our cafe are classrooms that are full of neighborhood kids in our summer programming. This past year, we collaborated with the University of Minnesota and local nonprofits, employing 20 youth in urban agriculture. Through one of these programs, aptly called Roots for the Home Team, our youth had the opportunity to build and create their signature salad. After working with Chef Jose, farmer Michelle, and our youth worker Ivan, La Fresca salad was born. The youth planted and picked almost all the ingredients in this new salad. Once the youth installed their new garden, they sold those vegetables to Roots for the Home Team, who in turn brought them to the Twins baseball stadium to be prepared by their chefs into the signature La Fresca. Our youth were then able to attend baseball games and sell salads, learning business skills at their first paid summer job. Thank you. In the past 12 months, we also launched our new hydroponic farm and our largest outdoor farm at one of our neighborhood centers in North Minneapolis. The Freight Farm, a redesigned cargo container, grows the equivalent of 1.5 acres of outdoor growing space while only using 5 gallons of water a week. To put that in perspective, that is about 1.5 football fields, end zone to end zone, of growing space, and uses less than 3 toilet flushes of water weekly. We are currently partnered with St. Thomas University Engineering Department to develop solar panels and rainwater catchment system that will allow us to operate independently from the grid. This outdoor and indoor farm work in tandem on different facets of agricultural education and produce production. A portion of this produce is then sold in North Market, used in our community meals, and given to our food shelves. These meaningful collaborations with these educational institutions, other nonprofits, and companies like Aramark are what gives us the ability to focus on our mission, co-creating solutions with community in which our community centers are located. And it can take a site looking like this in May to looking like this in September. Just like the human-centered design theory has principles to follow, our food system follows the principles called the 4 R's of soil stewardship. Right source, right rate, right time, right place. Even at a small family farm back in Iowa, you treat the different sections of your farm with specialized care. Before planting, a soil test is conducted in order to understand what is happening on a micro level. How else will we know what inputs our soil needs or what crops to grow? I believe looking at our neighborhoods in the same way is necessary to finding the solutions that we're looking for, to provide specific care to the micro communities that we serve. Is the lack of food access your community's pH imbalance? Is lack of affordable housing your high levels of arsenic? The solutions that we found work in the Phillips neighborhood of Minneapolis won't necessarily work in Philadelphia. And the solutions we found in South Minneapolis won't necessarily work in North Minneapolis. From my point of view, the settlement house movement of the 21st century will be us in this room. Each one of us in this room can go home and take an inventory of the soil in which we are standing. Think about the complexities that lie beneath the surface. The problems our communities face can be seen the same way. We just have to figure out the solution by determining the right source, the right rate, at the right time, in the right place for that specific community. And just like soil regeneration, it'll take a lot of time and trial and error to get it right, but our communities, like our soil, deserve their own specific care and love. Thank you.